got sale.
I'm not even wearing a
I mean, that is the biggest compliment ever, isn't it? But Joseph, Jodie said that it was like being with Gareth. You know, you've got the look, you've got the mannerisms. How did you manage that? Obviously, we know you've done it on stage as well, but going back to the beginning, it's a hard thing to completely master somebody like that, isn't it?
It is somewhat easier on stage because you're at the Olivier Theatre and there's 1,200 people, and if you're in the middle of the stalls and you squint, everybody looks possibly like Kane or Gareth. But it's a different thing when you're on television, and there's a Bethany Swan and Charlotte O'Connor who did an amazing job on the prosthetics, and it's just enough to nudge the conceit that hopefully the audience will believe that's Gareth, and then they can get on beyond Gareth and even beyond football in many ways, because the series, it takes a look at the beautiful game but uses that lens to examine other subjects. Could be racism, toxic masculinity, national identity, huge pressures that young players are under, athletes at that level, mental health. So for those of you who love football, you'll love it, but it's not just about football. It's about a whole load of other components.
Yeah, I think you can see that there. It's about the journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we said you played it on stage, obviously, for 2 years. But what was the moment like when you came face to face with Gareth then the first time?
Yeah, well, it was a surprise. I'm an ambassador for the King's Trust, and I was participating, giving awards to some young recipients for this yearly award ceremony, and I was in the wings and just about to go on trying to get these names right, and I got a tap on the shoulder, and I looked behind me, and there was me, you know. Yeah. Or what I thought was me. I'd been, you know, this face for 2 years, so I had a bit of an out-of-body experience, but he was such a gentleman and so humble. I thought he was going to punch my lights out and say, what the hell are you doing? But I saw him again, weirdly, last week at Buckingham Palace, and I just wanted to tell him that this is a celebration of his extraordinary work of bringing a gentle reformation, if you like, into the FA. And you know, healing a lot of now we've got 60 years of hurt, some people might say, but he brought a great lot of healing, and he shifted the fear and the expectation amongst those players into a different realm. And I remember watching them play at Russia, and they played with freedom and creativity. And he had done something quite extraordinary. He allowed them to become authors of their own story and have ownership on their identity of playing for England. What he did was remarkable. And the letter. Coaches don't write letters to the nation. It's a big, brave move, but it just shows the mentorship. He's a man, a very particular mentor that we need these sort of mentors in place.
Yeah.
Do you think as well, you know, his role hiring a psychologist who we see, obviously, Pippa in Jodie Comer, do you think that role and trying to change that psychology specifically around, Jodie Whisker, specifically around penalties, do you think that's to do with, you know, almost healing his own demons that he went through back in '96?
That's a great question. It's how I looked at the piece itself, that we all hit critical junctures in our life, and a lot of wisdom comes from suffering. It's just the way, sadly. And I think in terms of Gareth in '96 and the suffering he had as a great elite player that just happened to miss a penalty, and what he had to carry for those years, he then has brought back into the squad who will be playing in this World Cup, many of them. And who better to champion the idea of penalties than Gareth? But he did bring in, he had two pillars of strength, which would be Steve Holland and Pippa Grange, brilliantly played by Jodie Whittaker, who actually I was at the BBC with just doing some PR, and I passed the TARDIS, and I had to ask her. It's only Gareth and Jodie that I say, can I have a selfie with you by the TARDIS? Anyway, I digress. So she plays Pippa, the psychologist, and it was an amazing thing that he did to bring a psychologist in. A lot of sports had been doing it, but weirdly, the England team hadn't, and it paid dividends.
Wow, yeah, I mean, it is so fantastic. We've had this message here from Mary, who said, I'm so excited to watch Dear England and hoping the boys do well this summer. Oh, I mean, it is so fascinating, isn't it? I mean, seeing all the psychology and hearing about it. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think the show is, you know, it's not about losing, it's about winning. And the big win is bringing people together. And I think that's what Gareth wanted. And certainly the episode does that. The 4 episodes brings people together in the most wonderful way.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm really excited to see it.
You go.
I'm not a football fan, but I really want to see it. You can watch Dear England from Sunday night, 9 o'clock on BBC One.